The American flag, it's got to be one of the most recognized symbols on the entire planet. But here's the thing, it's also one of the most contested. For every person who looks at it and sees this incredible beacon of unity, you've got someone else who sees a symbol of, really deep division.
So that's really the big question we're tackling here, right? What does the American flag actually represent today? Is it just about national pride, celebrating achievements?
Or is it maybe a tool for political protest, a way to push the country to be better?
Does it bring everyone together under one shared identity?
Or has it, become a sign of the very things that are pulling the nation apart? Okay, let's get into it.
To really unpack all these conflicting meanings, we've got to start with the law. And trust me, the legal stuff around the flag, it's probably not what you expect. Think about this for a second. A really common scene, right? A school classroom. Are students actually required by law to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance? The answer? It's a flat-out no. And yeah, for a lot of people, that's pretty surprising.
And listen, this is not some new, modern thing. This goes way back to a 1943 Supreme Court ruling. Think about that, right in the middle of World War II. It all started because some Jehovah's Witness kids were getting kicked out of school for not saluting the flag, which went against their religious beliefs.
So here's the bottom line. The law is crystal clear. It fiercely protects your individual right to free expression. You just can't be forced to join in a patriotic ritual. Why? Because the act of standing is considered a form of speech. It's like saying you agree. And by the way, this right isn't just for students. Teachers have it too. But, the flag's meaning wasn't just hammered out in courtrooms. It was really forged in the fire of America's biggest historical moments. And when you look at that history, you see just how much the flag's meaning can change. It's like a chameleon, reflecting whatever the nation is going through. Back in the Revolution, it was all about unity. The Civil War, it was the banner for preserving the country. Then, boom, the Vietnam era hits, and it becomes this powerful symbol of protest. And then, after 9/11, it transformed again into this almost universal emblem of shared loss and determination. So, this long history of constantly changing meanings, it brings us right to today. And what we're seeing now is the flag as a modern battleground for all of the nation's competing ideas and identities. And one of the biggest divides you can see is between generations. For older Americans, the flag is often tied directly to pride, loyalty, and military service. But for younger generations, they're much more likely to see it as, complicated, a symbol that might represent deep-seated problems or promises that haven't been kept. And it's not just a feeling. The numbers absolutely back this up. Check this out. A recent poll shows a pretty steep drop in national pride as you go down in age. You've got 75% of baby boomers saying they're proud of America, but that number plummets to just 41% for Gen Z. And a gap like that, it's going to have a huge impact on how something like the flag is seen. You can even see this tension in the literal, physical ways the flag is displayed. Take the upside-down flag. Traditionally, that's a signal of extreme danger, like a ship sinking. But now, it's been co-opted by political movements as a symbol of protest to show they believe the whole nation is in crisis. It's totally shifted from a cry for help to a powerful political statement. And there's probably no better example of this clash of symbols than what we saw during the January 6th Capitol riot. It was just a wild collision of meanings. You had people waving the American flag to say, "We are the patriots, we have legitimacy." But right next to them, you'd see Confederate flags, a symbol of actual rebellion against the United States, being carried inside the Capitol. Then you had the Gadsden, "Don't tread on me" flags, their revolutionary message now aimed at American institutions. And in some spots, Trump flags were literally replacing American flags on poles. On top of all that, you had those upside-down American flags signaling a national emergency. It was just this dizzying, chaotic mix of different banners, all telling completely different, conflicting stories about America, all at the exact same time. So, okay, after all that, the court cases, the shifts in history, the modern political fights, what does it all mean? Where does that leave the flag and its legacy today? I think the most important thing to take away from all this is that the flag's meaning isn't set in stone. It's not one single thing. It's more like a mirror. And what it reflects is the messy, ongoing, and often really heated conversation Americans are having about their own identity, about who they are and what they want their country to be. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. If the flag really is a mirror, what does it reflect when you look at it? Because what you see in those stars and stripes, well, that says just as much about you, your values, and your experiences as it does about the country itself.